I'm sure you've heard before you want to be the last agent in for a listing because that increases your odds of landing the listing. But have you ever stopped to think why that is? Everyone has a set decision-making process when they're going to make an important decision as to what product to buy, who to list their home with, or what car to buy. Same thing holds true in the auto industry. You want to be the last showroom that your potential clients walk in because your odds of it closing the sale increase tremendously, especially if you're working with a couple. Now, this is because when people are going through the process of learning how to list your home, interviewing agents, or simply going to buy a car and going through the process with certain salespeople, by the time they get to the last one, they kind of already learned a little bit. They've read each other's body language. They know if they want to move forward or don't want to move forward because they made a silent agreement going into the last auto showroom or the last agent. If we hear this, and this, and if we feel comfortable, we'll move forward at this time. This is because couples especially do not want to make a decision without the other one's approval. And when they go through a couple agents going through the listing presentation, they always say, hey, you know what, let us talk about it and we'll get right back to you. So how do you avoid this and how do you become the last agent in the door the first time out? How do you increase your odds of closing that sale the first time out? Well, you have to create a reason to separate yourself from the clients for a couple of minutes in order to give them the ability to talk amongst themselves and make the decision to move forward or not. So you could easily make up an excuse, whether you have to take a phone call, you have to return a quick phone call, maybe you left something in the car that you want to present to them. You just have to find a reason to leave the dining room table, the kitchen table, wherever you are, and give them the ability to talk amongst themselves. You only do this after you make your pitch. You ask the question, so what are your thoughts? And then you're like, oh wait, I have to go and get something in the car to present to you. You have to strategically forget something in the car, whether it could be a small little gift, whether it's an extra sheet of paper with some information you want to present to them. You want the excuse to leave them alone so they can talk amongst themselves and say, hey hon, what do you think? Should we move forward with them? Am I getting a good vibe? Because if you leave and then make that call the next day, you're going to catch them when they're busy. Maybe they were talking to a friend and they're like, oh yeah, I have this agent you should talk to as well. And then you're going to be in a competing situation when you could probably have received the upfront commitment from them at that point. So heading into spring market, this is a really, really good sales tactic to take out to the marketplace and increase your odds of landing every listing you take. Thank you very much.